Let's begin this little shindig, shall we, my friends? Is everybody ready? Everyone's got a little thumbs up for me? Excellent news. Excellent news. Those eyes, 'neath which my passionate rapture runs, the arms, hands, feet, the beauty that erewhile could my own soul from its own self beguile, and in a separate world of dreams enclosed the hair's bright tresses full of golden glows, and the soft lighting of the angelic smile that changed this earth to some celestial isle, are now but dust, poor dust that nothing knows. And yet I live, myself I grieve and scorn, left dark without the light I loved in vain, adrift in tempest on the bark forlorn, dead as the source of all my amorous strain, dry as the channel of my thoughts outworn, and my sad harp can sound but notes of pain. It is April 17th, 1920. The transatlantic cruise liner Petrach departed Dover 3 nights ago and is currently mid-voyage, steaming hard for New York. The Petrach is a special ship, a nightliner. It is operated by a company belonging to the Camarilla. The Prince of London, Alistair Duncan of Clan Ventrue, and the Prince of New York, Arabella de Novo, Clan Bruja, are responsible for the maintenance of the Elysium aboard, with Duncan appointing a keeper of Elysium and de Novo naming a sheriff. The entertainment aboard the ship is available through the night, and the ship both departs and arrives at nighttime. There are humans on board, and aside from a specific group of them in steerage class, they are not to be touched. Masquerade to be upheld at all times. Tonight, tonight, as the Petrarch cuts through the cold, darkened waters of the Atlantic, the powerful steam engines pushing it onward towards the American coast, we find several kindred aboard, notably the famed cabaret singer Elke Becker and her impresario. Other VIPs include Valérie de Villon, the grandchild of the Prince of Paris, traveling to New York as an ambassador for her grandsire. And as the third night of the voyage settles upon the Petrarch like a fine silk auriculaire, we enter a finely appointed cabaret, the top deck of the ship, where a band is currently warming up the room with the sound of swing music. My friends, you are all in this cabaret, getting ready for another night of revelry, of fun, of music, of dancing. It is said that Elke herself may make an appearance later tonight to sing for you. As you scan the crowd, you notice many of the other kindred who you have met so far on board with you, including the Keeper of Elysium, the Sheriff, a number of other interesting parties. You yourselves find pleasure, entertainment, a means to while away the time during this long voyage by sitting here of an evening with the rest of the kindred and some ghouls. As we enter this cabaret and take in the swing music, where would we find each of your characters, and what would they be up to here at the beginning of an evening? And as I did earlier, I'm going to start with North. Tell us, what is Miguel doing?
Miguel is escuchando, listening to music. And he would be probably at the corner of the bar, most likely watching, observing. He's spoken to another kindred as he's recognized them from his adventures from the UK. Had some conversations briefly with them, but mostly drinking whiskey on the rocks on his own as he blankly but angrily stares at every single kindred in this room. keeping to himself. And most likely repeating a phrase in his head that he will keep to himself for now. But he would whisper over to La Señorita, who's sitting next to him. Ask her, looks like your drink there, Señorita, is getting low. Do you want another? And he would be speaking to Yuri's character. And you would find Miguel is dressed as is. He is with a vest, the hat, glasses, white shirt, and again, just sitting there contemplating on the undead life, because there is no more life for him. But always being a gentleman and asking the ladies next to him to make sure that their drinks are always full.
How is Elaine faring?
She would have just probably be finishing her first drink, sitting there with Miguel. They've been doing the same the last night as well. They're probably going to do the same thing this night. Just sit there, watching the pianist play and people watching, not saying much of anything until they've probably had a couple of drinks in them, in a comfortable silence. She would have looked over at him and just nodded at the drink that he so graciously said he would fill for her again.
Oye, barkeep, dos más.
So I heard that...
Sorry, the waiter will come around.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Okay. The waiter will come around, and as he come towards you with a platter with a couple of flutes of champagne on it, he will pass by a table where another couple is sitting. Maui and Sadie, please tell us a little bit who we see, what's going on at this table currently.
So, I'm sitting at this table and inspecting my glass to make sure that it's clean. Looking at the table, make sure everything is just so. I noticed that my fork is slightly out of alignment, not parallel with the rest of my utensils, so I straighten it and kind of press out the tablecloth, make sure that there's no wrinkles on it. As I watch everything, I'm kind of watching across the way, looking at the two people at the bar interacting, watching the band kind of get ready to go, just kind of scanning the room as I look to my right and say, "You having a good time, Jinxie?"
Always with you, sir. And I think you would notice that Jinx is sort of, she's looking around the room, seeing if anybody catches her eye as somebody who might be a little bit fun. Somebody who might make the evening a little more interesting for her and for Sir. And other than that, she is completely absorbed in the man next to her. She is obsessed with him. She's suction cupped to his side. I think she kind of, if she notices somebody looks interesting across the bar, she might whisper something to him. And then when he's not looking, if he's not paying enough attention to her, she'll just knock his fork askew again.
The four of you, and please let me know if my sound is better. I've fiddled with some twiddles. The four of you take in the scene. There are perhaps a dozen other kindreds on board. I'm still having issues with the sound? Wonder is everyone still... Wow. I don't know what's going on. Like, it's been doing this for a while. I'm almost at max on my thing here.
You sound great to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds good for me.
It's great. It's great. It's fine in the OBS, but it has difficulty for some odd reason for the past little while in the stream. Is that better, Jeremy? I can't really pump it up much more than that, so we're gonna have to kind of go ahead with this and hope that...
You can put a gain on the mic in OBS.
I know what I'm doing. I'm doing all the things. Don't you worry. I'm doing all the things. How is it, Jeremy? It's better? All right. Well, I'll try to speak more into the mic. Because there's nothing else I can do. Everything is kind of jammed up right up into the maximum of everything. Hopefully this is good enough. I've completely lost my train of thought now, which is not good. The four of you take in the scene currently. You've had time to mingle and sort of meet each other, meet some of the other kindred on board also. The other kindred of note that are currently in the room with you, you would see first of all, the Ventru Keeper of Elysium, who is assigned here by the Prince of London, is Lady Margot Vesper. Lady Vesper is currently busy sort of greeting people as they come in. The thing to understand is that the ship is considered an Elysium, and so for those of you who may not know what that means, an Elysium is a safe space for kindred. It means that you are not allowed to breach the Masquerade, you are not allowed to use violence, you are not allowed to be disrespectful to other people. So it is considered a safe space, and the Keeper of Elysium is here to ensure that the rules and protocols are followed and has the power to strip people of status and things of that nature. If that doesn't work, if someone gets a little bit, a little bit out of pocket, a little out of control, there is a sheriff, a kindred, a Bruja by the name of Rufus Purcell, who has been assigned here by the Prince of New York. Rufus is the only kindred on the boat who is allowed to not only use disciplines and violence in case it is needed, but also the only kindred who has the right to kill another kindred. So these are sort of the two big sort of figures representing the Camarilla here on the boat tonight. Yes, Rufus de Bruja. Along with them, of note, are, as I was mentioning earlier, Valérie de Villon, who is the grandchild of the Prince of Paris, who is sailing to New York to fulfill a sort of ambassadorial role for the Prince, along with a number of other vampires. The other person who sticks out a little bit, or who kind of might be of interest to people, is Dr. Bowman. Dr. Bowman is special because Dr. Bowman is not a vampire. Dr. Bowman is a ghoul. However, he is in service to a powerful Toreador in New York. He is returning from some studies that he did at Edinburgh, and is afforded, while not the same respect as a kindred, he is definitely sort of on a lower level. He is welcome at the cabaret, as are a number of other ghouls that are there either as servants or assistants or staff, for example. Again, for those of you who don't know, a ghoul is a human who has been fed vampire blood, but not in turn drained of their blood and turned into a full vampire. So they get some particularities of the vampire, increased strength, increased stamina, things of that nature. They don't age as much, they're more resistant to disease, but they can go out in the sun, and they are the perfect sort of allies, if you will, of vampires. The evening begins fairly quietly, as all of the evenings have begun so far. The cabaret is, if you want to sort of cast your mind a little bit to the German cabarets of the 1920s, right? There's like Art Deco everywhere, and a lot of lights, and music is very swinging, very kind of it's a very lively sort of little spot, little bar that you have. Up to you to decide how your character feels about that. Maybe your characters are into this, maybe they're not so much into this. But there's a lot of mingling going on, mainly because now it is the third night, so people have started to know each other, and have struck temporary boat friendships, as you might say. What I would like to know now is I would like to go around the table, and I would like to get an idea of what your character is interested in sort of doing tonight, or what are there people you wish to speak to? Is there anything you wish to do in particular? What it is that you're trying to do? If you're trying to pick up someone, if you're just hoping to get smashed, if you're writing the great American novel, whatever it is you're doing. So let's go around the table here and give me an idea of what your character is doing and is wanting to sort of do here this evening, as we begin the evening per se. So whoever wants to start, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking to make friends with Valerie. I want to try and rub elbows with her, get to know her, see if I can make a connection. She seems to be a person of power, so I crave power. I'd love to talk to her.
Who doesn't crave power?
Well, I don't particularly, but I'll definitely support Sir. Whatever he wants, he gets.
No particular plans for you, Jinx?
I mean, I'm always looking for trouble as long as it's not messing with Sir's plans. So, I mean,
if you want to find someone for us, if you want to find someone for us to play with later, that'd be lovely.
That was the idea.
And what about Elaine and Miguel?
I don't know about Elaine, but Miguel, he's a creature of comfort. He is going to sit back, do the same thing that he's doing, and not really do anything else except for soak in his sadness and anger, and sit next to Elaine, as she has become a person of comfort to him for the past couple nights.
This is where Elaine tells us that she can't stand this sad boy and is just trying to get rid of him.
No, actually quite the opposite. Like, she is also just sulking, and so she's very not happy, but she's very grateful that it just happened to be that she doesn't have to just sit here and sulk by herself. They don't know a lot about each other or why they're sulking. They just kind of found some sort of like kinship in that. And so they don't ask too many questions. Like, it doesn't really matter. They're just being each other's shoulders, just sitting there in a very comfortable silence. So she's, she's very glad that he also happened to be there. She is very excited at the idea of Elk, Miss Becker, coming out, because she does appreciate the fine arts, and she is a very good singer, and so she considers that like a fine art. So she's very excited for that, and just keeping an eye out for Claire as well. Again, like the famous painter, right? So something that she would just look forward to, those kinds of things. But for now, she's very happy to just be sitting here and just drinking a little more.
Excellent. As the two of you sit there, sulking, something is happening. Why so many frowns at one table? Have I stumbled into a pity party? A pity party I was not aware of, as this very elegant, very beautiful black woman with the straight hair and a little feather on her little headband and this beautiful sequin dress slips into a chair at the table with Miguel and Elaine. As she leans in, you remember meeting her briefly earlier. Her name is Geraldine True. She is an American and a Clan Malkavian, a member of Clan Malkavian. She sits down at the table and leans in and reaches out and takes Miguel's glass and sinks it down very quickly and puts it back in front of you and says, "Tell me, why so sad? Why are you sitting here just brewing in your own darkness?" And she turns over to Elaine and goes, "He's a Lasombra, get it?" Please tell me what's going on. I can't stand to see you so sad. It hurts my heart.
Señorita. First of all, an introduction would have been nice. Number two, it's rude to drink another person's drink without even knowing that person's name. Number three, I didn't find that funny at all.
Oh, I'm very sorry. What do you find funny?
There's no sadness here. There's no emotion here. I just like to be left alone. And if you can't read the room, then I suggest that you turn around and get out.
You want to sit alone, yet I see you're sitting with a very, very lovely young lady. Have I caught you in a lie? Are you lying to me, sir?
I don't lie, I tell truths. It's a matter of perspective at that point, no?
No, I find that truth and lies are actually very rarely a matter of perspective. Truth is something that is verifiable, a fact. For example, I am insane as a Malkavian, as you well know, and that is a truth. And you, as a member of Clan Lasombra, are at one with the shadows, which is exactly what you're doing, and that is a truth also. Yes. Where would the perspective come into play in these matters?
You would look at the glass that Elaine has, and you would excuse me and grab the glass. Now this glass, señorita, to me, it is half full. How about you?
May I? She reaches over and lifts it up, holds it up to the light, studies it, downs it. Quite empty, I would say.
Matter of perspective, no?
You can always get it refilled, though, and that's the beauty of being on this lovely little ship. All our needs are met. All our needs are met. Are all your needs being met?
Again, I cannot talk about my wonderful company next to me. But what I can say is my needs are met for now. Elaine, Do you
Yes.
want to entertain whatever she is? And he's going to turn around and ignore her.
I was just trying to bring a bit of
Honestly.
levity.
Yes, I don't think I will either. I was kind of hoping you to drive her away.
Oh, my, how rude. I was told that people in the old world were so much more polite and so much better mannered than us poor Yankees.
You see, you have to be mannered to deserve manners back. And as I see it, you were quite rude first. Now I have an empty drink that I don't think you'd be looking to fill. So if you excuse me.
Well, I can see that the two of you are not in a mood for being cheered up in any way, shape, or form. I think I'll leave you to it. I hear they will be introducing the renowned singer Elki a little later. I do hope that the sound of her beautiful voice is not turned to an indecipherable muck as it speeds through this little corner of the room and gets mired in the primordial ooze that seems to be bubbling up here and threatening to drag us all down into darker depths. This is ship, a voyage, an adventure. I do so hope that you do not taint it for everybody else. But if you like to wallow, please. I bid you adieu. May our paths...
Question.
Yes.
Did Jinx and Ellis
Notice
happen
this
to
woman?
notice this exchange?
Yeah, I'm sure you would be sitting nearby. That's fine.
All right. First, I'm going to look down at the table and see that my fork is askew. I'm going to straighten it, and I'm going to put my hand on Jinx's thigh and squeeze. And I'm going to point at Geraldine. Jinx, I think we might have found a plaything for the evening.
Couldn't agree more.
Perhaps you should go get acquainted.
On it.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna let's see if I can liven this place up, because it's like somebody's funeral in here, and I know we all had one, but
Rude.
this is a little too stiff in here, if you catch my drift.
I think before I walk away, I take your hand and I just press my face to it, kiss it, and go talk to Geraldine.
We'll talk later about the fork.
Who moved the fork?
Barcero, dos más, por favor. Dale. 2 more, please.
You will be brought your drinks. I also did want there was something I wanted to mention, but now it's escaped me. I'll get back to that. But where are you going, Ellis? What will you be? What is Ellis doing?
While she goes over there, I'm gonna go over to the bar. I'm gonna reach over the bar. I'm gonna grab a shaker and get myself a drink, and then I'm gonna mosey over to the stage. No one's on the piano yet, yes?
Exactly.
I'm gonna sit at the piano. Is there like a microphone nearby or anything like that?
There is.
I like where this is going.
Is this thing on? Okay. Hello.
Like in all good movies, there's a little bit of feedback.
I know we're waiting for the lovely, what's her name, Elki to come out, and I can't wait. I'm sure she's wonderful, but I don't know, it's just a little dead in here, so I thought we could just liven it up a little bit, and I'm just going to start tickling the keys, and I want to try and get everybody up and a little bit more lively, because things are just a little too chill, for a vampire, for a person that's technically dead. I sure like to live a lot, you know what I mean?
Give me a let's make it a charisma and performance roll.
Charisma and performance. 4.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say earlier, I think North, you received a night move. That's what I want to say. You received a night move from Baal earlier.
Oh, thank you. Muchas gracias, Night Moon.
So you can put that on a character sheet and you can use it to buy an automatic success or avoid a botch.
Muchas gracias.
And what's my difficulty on that?
Your difficulty, well, just a 6. I think people are wanting to give a little party.
Right.
And Raven Sarah bought a night move for everyone. So everyone, including North, you have a second one. Everyone has a night move.
Hey,
from
muchas
Raven Sarah,
gracias.
our number one,
That is
our only mod. So she's number one.
The 6 and 2 7s and 1 1.
As you start tickling the keys, it's not your best performance, but it's serviceable. You see people starting to tap their foot, nod their head as you are start ripping into a little bit of your favorite party repertoire.
I don't know if it's the right year. I don't know if this was already made, but I'm gonna go with Cheek to Cheek. I don't know if it was made yet. Don't fact check me on that, people.
No, maybe you wrote it and someone stole it and they published it later.
Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. I'm just gonna start tickling those keys.
As the music swells and the party starts to pick up a little bit, Jinx, you stand up and make your way just as Geraldine is leaving the table of darkness that is dwelling over there in the corner. She turns around and you come right up face to face to her and she goes, "Oh my, Jinx, was it?"
Geraldine, I presume?
You presume very well indeed. Call me Miss
It's a
True, call me
pleasure to meet
Geraldine,
you.
but do call me.
Always. I couldn't help noticing you across the bar. You're quite striking, I
Oh.
must say.
This little thing. You're very, very, very kind. Very nice. Also, very young. How old are you? I'm willing to bet you're no older than 40, 50?
Oh, you're very kind, but I'm actually closer to, well, a lady never tells.
But are you a lady?
Well, by whose measure?
Well, my name is Geraldine True. I always speak the truth.
Mm.
And I
Well,
will say that my mind isn't made up yet.
well, I suppose I'm not what you might consider a lady, but I am a good time, I can assure you of that.
Well then, I've just come from the most dreadful table I've ever seen on any ship on the Atlantic in my time ever.
Oh, darling, come, let me get you a drink. Tell me all about it. It sounds ridiculous.
That sounds excellent. Excellent idea. Please lead the way. As you lead our way to the table, first of all, thank you so much, your boy Big Ian. One night move for everyone. Again, an additional night move for everyone. Do come by Friday and check out Ian being a masterful GM in our werewolf game. It's happening on Friday. Second of 2 parts on Friday. So come check that out. And Varl, as always, coming in hot and heavy with the subscriptions, the gifted subscription. Thank you, Varl. We love you so much, Varl. I'm going to get a t-shirt made after you. It's just going to say Varl. And people are going to be like, who fuck's Varl? I'm like, if you don't know.
If you know. Yeah.
This next song goes out to Varl, everybody. An old friend of mine. Let's go.
As you and Geraldine go and sit down, and Ellis is going off on a tear, Miguel, Elaine, you find yourselves alone at your table again. There's the two of you.
I thought there was more. Sorry.
No, I'm just.
Me too. I was waiting for it.
I was waiting for more.
I
was like,
felt
wait,
like earlier you wanted to say something to each other, and so I was opening up that.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
These nights starting to liven up again. They're trying to do the thing that they do every night here.
Yes. I did want to apologize for last night. I know you ended up having to help me back to my room. I'm honestly not used to all this drinking, but I don't know, it feels right now.
Señorita, you never have to thank me. We all have emotions that we cannot control. And you are going through some things that I can understand.
I know. I wasn't, doubting that. I just, it was unseemly and unladylike and not like my usual self. So I just wanted to apologize. I think I can beat my score from last night, if I'm honest. Feeling a little brave.
Oh, then you're talking about after 2 drinks or 3? Because
you don't have to be mean about it. Maybe 2.5. We'll see.
Oh, sí, señorita, I think you can do it. And
all right. Well, I don't know how to count the one that I only half drank. Honestly, that was interesting. Right now, earlier?
Yes, people can be a little rude if they are not civilized, I've noticed. The young ones now, they don't have manners. They just think they own.
That is very true. It was just... I don't know. I do hope that that's as much as will happen tonight, honestly. I don't think I can deal with too many people like that. Not right now.
That is understandable. They say that we are dampening the mood, but I think we can liven this up a little bit. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. So, shall we get another?
I say we do, and you're going to see Miguel kind of look at his pockets and take out a pocket watch, and he's going to fiddle with it and then put it back into his pocket. And then he's going to ask for some more drinks. I'm assuming the drinks are already here, so he's going to take a swig and say to the ones we've lost, to the ones that are left behind, we are more than that now. But I'm glad that I've met your company tonight.
I can honestly say the same.
Maybe if you get brave enough, we share a dance.
Okay, that's probably going to take another drink.
Okay, then we start the drink, okay?
It's been a while. I spent most of my time in the library. Well, So it's been some time since I've danced. So, and she will grab the drink and just start downing it.
He's going to help put a finger and just lift the drink while she's chugging it and be like, okay, keep going. Yes. Uh-huh. We don't breathe, so you can keep going.
I'm watching this happen while I'm playing the piano. I go, oh yeah, there we go. And I'm gonna start playing a little Maple Leaf Rag instead of Scott Joplin.
Yes. And Miguel is going to look at it, and as a champ, I'm assuming, and I'll roll for it to see how well I actually drink this drink in one shot. I don't know what to roll for it, but I want to.
You don't have to.
I want to then try to chug it, but I think that he's so overly confident that he drinks it and that ice slides towards his face so that it hits him in the nose and you see the little bit of whiskey just come out. He's like, God damn it. Sloppy. I swear it's only my first drink of the night because she took my first one.
Sure. You did get here before I did, so don't know how much I believe that. And she's just going to hand you a cloth napkin to dab yourself.
Thank you, señorita. Thank you.
And as the drinking contest continues over in the brooding table, you, Ellis, as you're on the piano, you notice another man waving at you from the side. There's like a little curtain behind the stage, and it's open, and this man, very well dressed in a tuxedo with gray hair combed like really perfectly. He's leaning out and he's looking at you, and he's like,
Does this mean keep going? No, I'm just messing with you. All right, y'all, that's my time. It's good playing for you. Dun, dun, dun.
Come here.
Oh, and I go off to the side of the stage. Yes, how do you do?
Hello, my name is Byron Gates. I'm sure you've heard of me.
I'm sure I have. Have I heard of him?
You know he is Elke Becker's impresario and manager.
Oh, yes, absolutely. How are it's so nice to meet you.
Remind me your name again. Are you someone of importance?
I'd like to think so. Name's Ellis Akkufo.
Miss Becker heard you play from the backstage area, and she was wondering if you might be interested later in joining her for a rendition of, a song of your choosing, as long as it's within a certain repertoire.
Absolutely, and I have to admit, piano. I just dabble in the piano. My given instrument of choice is the saxophone, which I have back in my cabin. I'd love to play for you.
Well, the saxophone is not an ideal duetting.
I mean, I could still do piano if that's what you would prefer.
I think that's what Mrs. Beck would prefer. What if I bring you a list of songs and you tell me which one you would like to play from that, and then perhaps during the second part of the show we could have you play along with Miss Becker.
Oh, that would be absolutely lovely. I'd love to meet Miss Becker if time permits.
Yeah, I'm certain that can be arranged. We will also, of course, pay you a scale for your time, as no one works for free.
Of course. I haven't been paid scale in years, though, so perhaps we could do a little bit better than that. Try and see if I can get him to bump this up a little bit.
He'll say, well, let's see how you play. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, good. I have to return to Miss Becca. We should be going on in very shortly here. Do find a good seat.
I absolutely will.
Pleasure.
I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna head back to my seat, and I'm gonna go to Jinx. And I'm sorry, what was that gentleman's name again?
Byron Gates.
Byron Gates. Jinxie. See what you can find out about
when you
Byron
approach, you do notice
Gates.
that Jinx is with Geraldine.
Yes.
Oh. Well, hello. And your name, Madame?
True. Geraldine, true.
And that ain't no lie. Name's Ellis. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, is this the child you were speaking of?
Oh, yes, this is mine. I call him Sir, but yes, everyone else calls him Ellis.
Is it okay if I call you Ellis then?
Honey, you can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late. You know what I mean?
She leans over to Jinx. Do the jokes ever get better, or
They're worth it, I promise.
Well, I'm not here for the comedy.
I'm not a musician, comedian by trade. More of a poet, musician, what have you.
As you are making friends with Geraldine, Elaine, how many drinks have you had?
Yeah, I think maybe 2.
It's starting to have an effect.
Yeah, I figured.
The you were certain that a boat this big wouldn't list so bad, but it appears it does, and it started to in any case. Not so bad that you feel and threatened right now, but you do certainly feel a certain swaying that wasn't there a few moments ago.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly do not think drinking the whole last drink all at once was quite a good idea.
Oh, señorita, it's okay. This is okay. We won't drink anymore. We will pretend to drink. I will, is there a window that I can open?
I'm gonna say yes because you're on top. You're on the higher floor of the thing. So
I'm gonna head over to the window and grab her gently by the hand, and we're gonna walk over to the window and open the window for fresh air.
you get a little bit of that, cool night air from over the Atlantic coming in, that waft of the water, and you don't get sprayed. You're too high up to get that. It does help a little bit, feeling that fresh night air sort of wafting over you and pushing back the fumes of the cabaret, and you're feeling a little bit better for it.
I think it'll be okay. I just focus on the music and not on myself and the boat and the moving and everything else. Just the music for a little bit. I think that's okay. You can keep drinking though. That's fine. Thank you.
It's okay, señorita. And he's going to look at her and just make sure that she can keep her balance. And I'm assuming that she's saying this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I see her kind of like, I'm
just
okay.
A little bit like she's got a hand on that side
I'm
of
okay.
Oh, I'm 100% holding on to the window.
Okay, señorita, I will leave you alone. You are an adult. You are a big girl. I will go get another drink. Are you okay while I go?
Yes. Go ahead. Don't stop having drinks and fun on my account.
No,
but thank you. Anyways,
you are all the fun that I need tonight. No.
That's very sweet.
And as you say that, the doors to the cabaret open fairly dramatically. 4 men who look fairly identical, dark hair, slicked back, beautiful suits, walk in, kind of in formation. All 4 of them kind of spread out a little bit, check out the room. One of them turns around, looks towards the door and nods. And in strides this man. Handsome, beautiful summer weight suit, cane at his hand, steps in. You recognize Federico Giovanni, member of Clan Giovanni, whom you met here and there throughout the evening. As he comes in, he stops as if he owns the place, takes it in, nodding appreciatively, nods to a few people. Immediately, the maitre d' comes over and guides him over, brings him all right up to the stage. There's a little table that was in there. They bust out the table. One of the waiters gets the table. Another one's bringing in a tablecloth. Another one's bringing in a candle. One of them is bringing in a chair. They set this all up right next to the stage, like the best possible seat in the house. Just as Federico Giovanni steps up to the table, the other waiter's coming in with the chair just behind him. And as he sits down, the chair gets there just in time underneath his arse. And then he signals for the party to continue, although it didn't really stop. Most people kind of turned to look at what was going on. And the 4 men that were with him, who are ghouls, by the way, they're not vampires. He's the only one who's a vampire in the group. Kind of take up, polite yet fairly protective stances sort of around him, and he sits right next to him. Someone brings in a little champagne, a bottle and a bucket of champagne, a glass. They set that up in front of him, asking him if he's all right and everything's good. He waves them off. People kind of watch that happen a little bit, and then conversations start to resume a little bit. So Giovanni sits there, crosses an immaculately painted leg over the other, and appears to be waiting for the show to begin. I would like both Elaine and Miguel to make a perception and is it awareness or alertness? Alertness roll.
Let's go.
Okay.
It's going to be a target of 7.
Okay.
Perception and what, sorry?
Alertness.
Alertness?
First good roll of the night. Love it.
And Maui, is Ellis bisexual?
Ellis is pansexual.
Okay. So could I have both you and could I have both Ellis and Sadie make willpower rolls?
Sorry, because you said my real name.
Oh, sorry.
It's like Sadie.
I was but I was looking at the nameplate and it changed from your character nameplate just as I was looking at it.
That's amazing.
You're welcome,
Sorry,
Stacey. Jinx. Willpower. So roll a number of D10 equal to your willpower.
Got
And
it.
your target
Thank
is going to be
you.
7 also.
Perfect.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. Mine
Remember,
was
ones cancel successes.
Okay.
Well, I
mine
have,
was 3 successes and a crit.
I have 3 successes. What's a crit? 10?
So if you roll a 10, you can re-roll it and
Oh.
add it as for another die.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, 1 second.
I'm so sorry. What's the target one more time?
7.
7. Okay.
3 successes. One of them was a crit, but I got a 5 on the second roll.
That's
so
fine.
it's-
If it's not, it's not an impact.
I've got 2 successes, one of which is a crit.
Ellis?
I have 1 success and 2 failures.
So, all right, I will start with Ellis and Jinx. Jinx, you are able to control yourself. Ellis, you are enraptured. There is a man, one of the bodyguards, young, dark, handsome as fuck. Like fucking Adonis. Just that face should be a statue somewhere. He's just standing there. He looks a bit younger than the other man. He's standing closer to Federico. He's a ghoul, as I said. He's not a vampire. Very kind of insouciant. Sadie, you can't resist, but Ellis, your Toreador weakness, that fixation, grabs you. You are staring at this piece of art. And I'm not saying it's sexual. It's up to you to decide kind of what, but it's literally that. You are looking at a work of art.
You said tall, dark, and handsome. Dark is in,
As in Italian.
Black or of the
And as
African
in
dialect?
Italian,
Okay.
yeah.
Italian? Okay. So like a darker Italian.
Swarthy.
Probably. Yeah. Okay. I'm actually gonna pull out a pen out of my suit coat, and Jinx has seen this 100 times when I'm enraptured by somebody, and I immediately start jotting down a poem inspired by this lovely specimen. And she hears me just kind of go, as I start to write.
So keep that on the burner there for a second. As far as Elaine and Miguel go, you turned and you watched this all happen. You watched Federico Giovanni come in with the whole thing, the whole procession. There's a guy who's really good looking, but it doesn't mean anything more than that to you. And both at the same time, you hear a very loud splash, as if something large and heavy was thrown overboard, perhaps coming through the window where you are. You turn to see shadows moving away. You can't really see in the water. It's dark, it's choppy, but it's clear that something sizable hit the water.
To clarify, you say shadows as in plural or shadow?
As in, you look and you see one or two shadows of people as they run away, like you're seeing the tail end of them, and then like when you try to see, you can't because of the angle, but you saw a couple of shadows on the ground.
Okay.
Let's go around and see what you would like to do with all this new information coming on. And let's go to Jinx. Jinx. You are looking, you are impressed. You are impressed. You can almost feel your Toreador fixation kick in, but you're like, oh, you managed to clamp down on it a little bit. What do you do? Ellis is apparently right in it.
Yeah, I'm just writing, but I do have my hand on your thigh as I do when I am, in this mode.
Yeah, I mean, we're good. Like, I don't worry about him, so this happens from time to time, and I just let him go. And I'm busy entertaining Geraldine, and like I know that at the end of the night he's coming home to me, so to speak. So like it's fine. And yeah, I'm making sure that Geraldine is entertained. I'm making sure her glass is full. I'm making sure she's having a good time. I'm probably like admiring her dress and maybe like playing with her little headpiece, her little feather headpiece a little bit, just like, flirtatiously, like talking to her and admiring her and going, oh, where did you get this? This is beautiful. I love this dress. It's very ornate.
All right. And we'll get to that momentarily as soon as I've hit up everybody else and seen what else is doing. Ellis, go ahead and roll me just for show a performance roll, and make it your wits and performance for your poem.
As you wish. Okay. What's the difficulty?
We'll say 6.
Okay, I have 1, 2 successes and a crit.
Okay, so you're writing a pretty good piece. You've written something that you feel pretty proud of. It's, got verve, it's got rhymes, it's got... No, actually, you're probably not rhyming, but... I figured it'd be more
I'm a
free-form.
fan of
Traditional?
of like that early like jazz poetry. So I'd say there's some rhyme to it for sure.
Okay, all right. It flows, it rolls. You quite like it. There's beautiful imagery in it. It's not quite as beautiful as the specimen you were looking at, but
it's called Love's Melody, by the way.
And what will Miguel and Elaine be doing?
I think I'm coming back with the drinks, and I think maybe Elaine heard it more than I did.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just the drinks, but I could have sworn I had something hit the water. Do you think someone fell? Oh my gosh. The windows aren't large enough for me to fit through. I'm not going to fall, but... She holds onto the window really, really hard, and she leans out, and you could see, like, her head is, like, she's holding onto her hat, and she's trying to like, look out as far as she can. She's like, was that just me? Did you hear something? I haven't drank that much, have I? I don't think so.
As you go to pull your head back in, you catch a glimpse of something. And as you pause for a second, you see someone on one of the balconies near the club at the railing. It's someone you recognize. Someone you haven't seen for a while. Someone who you felt a lot of love. Someone who should not be standing there. And then as soon as you see it,
outside.
It's gone. Yeah. And as soon as you see it and you kind of lean back.
You know what? Maybe I have had too much to drink. I think,
Senorita,
here.
you look like you've seen a ghost.
I don't know, Miguel. I could have sworn it was her. It's, trick of the light.
Her?
I think
Her?
yes. But it must be the alcohol. I know we said I tried to outdrink myself, but I think I'm going to have to call it here.
That's
sorry.
fine. Would you like to take a walk, Senorita? We can always leave this party.
I don't know. I feel bad for you.
Oh, don't worry. I don't.
I'll be
And Miguel's
fine.
going to look back and he's like, I'm not missing anything in the party. Don't worry.
Yes, that would be nice. Thank you.
Lead the way, Senorita.
The two of you stand and start heading for the door. I'd like to take a quick parenthesis here before we go back to the other crew to do something that I forgot to do at the beginning of the game, which is to see where your blood pool is at. So, what I would like you all to do is your blood pool is... I would like each of you to roll a number of d10s equal to your max blood pool, -1. And every die that returns a 6 or higher is a blood point that you have.
Okay, that'd be 5 for me.
You are at 5 blood currently. Not quite feeling peckish yet, but...
I am also at 5.
Around 3, you start, feeling it.
We fed at the same time.
Of course we did.
Of course we did.
And
We
that
always
raider
do.
was never heard of again.
I'll come again when we have Judge on the menu.
Oh,
swing
don't
time.
you.
Okay, so
Don't
anything
you
over
threaten
is
me
no
with
bueno.
musicals.
Everything
6,
under,
no,
yes.
everything 6 or over is a blood point that you have.
Okay.
Over is good.
9,
Under is bad.
2.
Yeah, I'm at 4.
7.
Okay. You head towards the door. Sadie, you are entertaining Geraldine, who once in a while will shoot a look over at Ellis, kind of just wondering a little bit, maybe finding him a little bit rude, completely being engrossed in his work and sort of ignoring the two of you. And she'll say, does he do this often? Just go off into his own thing and leave you to fend for yourself?
Not terribly often, but he's very creative. And he needs to follow the muse when he finds it. And he always comes back to me in the end, so what do I care?
I see. So you have a very secure arrangement.
Oh, certainly.
But how does it work? I thought you were the sire, but you call him sir.
Well, I didn't. The decision to turn him was not mine. He asked me to.
Interesting. And you consented just because he's handsome?
Not just because he's handsome. I was already madly in love with him. I only resisted turning him in the first place because honestly, I didn't know that it was the life he wanted.
Don't you know what they say about falling in love with poets and musicians?
I do, but I never loved too wisely, even when I was alive.
Glutton for punishment, are you?
In more ways than one.
Oh, interesting. Ellis, as you are working on your poem, it's kind of letting out a lot of that Toreador fixation that you have, and you find yourself able to start focusing again on things around you. You've kind of gotten that out through the poem.
I'm sorry, love. And Miss True, apologies. It's the muse struck. You know what I mean?
Of course, darling.
May we see?
So, Miss. Of course. In fact, I can just read you a little bit of it. What I have so far, if you like.
Please do.
That would be incredible. Hold one moment.
Absolutely.
We're going to need more drinks. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm all ears.
You touch a soft and sweet refrain, a lover's tune, and joy and pain. In your embrace, I find my gain. Love's melody is sweet, sweet champagne.
Beautiful,
It's got a little
sir.
something to it.
Thank you. It's actually why we're heading back to the States. I believe the future is in cultural representation and artistry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's something coming. There's a cultural movement happening right now in New York, and I want to shepherd it. You know what I mean? Art, expression. That's the path. It's the path to freedom.
And you want to be the spark in this movement?
Yeah, you can say that. And if we make a few dollars while we're doing it, that's all right too. Spent enough time living a pauper's life. It's time to live maybe one of a prince.
And what about you, Miss Jinx? Are you interested in this movement also? I would have taken you for more of a seeker of a hedonistic pleasure rather than true believer in a cause.
Well, who says you can't have both? I believe in Sir, and he believes in the cause.
Little column A, little column B. There's plenty of room for hedonism, baby. As you can find out this evening if you'd like.
Oh, are you referring to pleasures of the flesh?
Pleasures of whatever you want. What's your poison?
My poison is a nice cup of chamomile tea, a thick quilt, perhaps a little roaring fire, and a nice book with which to spend my evening. Is that too boring for you?
It's pretty boring. Maybe you should go back to that sad table with that.
We'll gladly take him.
As you talk to her, you can see something has changed in her. Like, she's obviously physically still very much the same, but she used to like kind of be leaning forward and sort of stroking her glass, and now she's sitting up very straight and very prim with both her hands in her lap and looking at you.
I give Jinx a
you
look.
are right, dear.
Perfectly fine. Are you okay? You seem
Oh,
a little-
certainly. You just.
Sorry.
I give Jinx a look, and even though I don't say anything, the look is clearly saying, "Fucking Malks."
I have
I
to
hope
say
I
I
haven't
worry
made
about
you
you.
uncomfortable.
I worry about you a little bit, Jinx.
You worry about me?
Yes. Your behavior seems a little self-destructive.
Where is this coming from? I thought you were just having a good time with me. What is this? Why are you therapizing me?
May I tell you a little about our Lord and Savior?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Lord.
I'd really rather you didn't.
I think you would stand to gain so much from the words of wisdom that come
No.
from one for who, and I'm sure you would find much familiarity with someone who willingly was nailed to a cross.
Are we
for the sins of
talking? Are we
others.
talking about Old Testament fire and brimstone? Or are we talking about that New Testament lovey-dovey shit?
The new one with the nailing and the cross. She just said.
I'm more of a fan of the old school. You know what I mean? You fuck up, you pillar of salt.
Well, I would expect nothing less from a poet.
It is poetic. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Can you come back when you back to the freaky deaky? Because this whole if you talk about Lord and everything is really harsh in my vibe, baby.
Well, I see you are no more accommodating than the others were. It's becoming increasingly
I can
difficult
be
to
very
find.
accommodating. And look, look, honey. If you want to see Jesus, why don't you just come back to my place and I'll gladly show him to you between your legs.
That is one of the
I'm sorry,
most
was that too forward?
disgusting things I've ever heard.
It will be a little disgusting.
Hearing these beautiful words that you penned but 5 minutes ago, I thought you a man with beauty and light in your soul.
Oh, filth can be quite beautiful, baby.
To the filthy, I'm sure. The devil enjoys reveling in it.
Oh, devil's in the details, honey.
There is one last thing I would like to tell you before I leave, since it appears that
Since my talk is making her uncomfortable, as she wants to tell me one more thing, I start to caress Jinx and start to kiss her and rub her breasts in front of her. What were you saying?
I was saying that very, very often the devil is a lot closer than we think he is. Sometimes he's right there, right beneath our feet, just waiting for an opening. Slide his hand in. Slide his hand in deep and to grip your soul and grip your heart and your mind.
She says, slide your hand in. I reach between Jinx's legs.
The devil is often a lot closer than we think.
Sometimes he's right under our fingertips.
Well, whatever occurs tonight, I sure hope you don't run into the devil before you're ready for him.
I'm looking forward to it.
So is he. And that is what should scare you. He gets up. Very proud. Walks off.
Did that get you really hot, Jinx? Maybe we should excuse ourselves for a minute.
And as you say that, the music stops. A spotlight comes down right on top of the one microphone. The man you saw earlier, Byron Gates, strides onto the stage like a man about to recite Shakespeare, looking very stentorial. He looks upon the crowd, waits for it to hush. A couple of people are still making noise in one corner, and Mr. Giovanni arches an eyebrow, and one of his goons walks over to there, and in a moment, quiet. Goon return. Hi, friends. You have embarked on this ship, on this voyage, heading for the New World. You hope there to find, perhaps, a new life, new opportunities, riches, joy, bliss, love, meaning, perhaps, to your lives or on lives, as it were. Well, I certainly hope you find it. I certainly hope that when you reach the New World, you find whatever it is that you're going there to find. But in the meantime, let me give you what you didn't know you needed, or what your soul and your heart has been yearning for all this time. Miss Elkebeck. And as he says that, the spotlight closes. Red spotlights turn on in the back, and you just see the silhouette of what appears to be someone dressed in a top hat with coattails. Light comes on slowly. Standing in the middle of the stage. Cigarette on her long cigarette holder. Blonde curls underneath the top hat. Beautiful coattails. Elke Becker strides forward. He looks at the crowd. Silence. It's as if the Atlantic Ocean itself is still. And then she opens her voice. Opens her mouth, rather, and out of it comes this voice that will require some of you to make some willpower check.
Can I willingly fail?
The Toreadors in the room should make willpower checks.
Yeah, that tracks.
The other two have left, so we'll leave you out of it for a moment. Your target is 9.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you why in a
talking
second. I'll tell you why in a second.
No, that's perfect. I want to fail, so.
You can fail. You can totally just let it happen.
Ellis is so riled up right now. He doesn't have any willpower. Why don't I roll this good ass roll? Some bullshit.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I rolled well too.
I have 1 success.
What is that?
Yeah, I won't save you.
No failures.
No, I should
Good.
have used this die.
That's what I want.
Are you sure that's it? Okay.
Yeah, right,
wow.
City.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, I used a homemade die, and the number is not super clear, and I'm realizing that in the moment. But we're good. I got 2 successes and 2 crits.
2 successes and 2 crits. You are able to resist again. However, the voice that emanates from Elke Becker, the voice that rings out through the cabaret, is not just any voice. It is the voice of a daughter of cacophony. It is a mystical voice, loaded with the ancient powers of singers and artists throughout history. Ellis.
Yes.
You've been captivated before. You've heard great singers before. You have been taken over completely by beautiful sound, beautiful voices. But as Elke Becker starts to sing, you're transported, you're taken somewhere else. The world around you ceases to exist. You are in Harlem. Around you are poets, musicians, painters, artists of all stripes, assembled with you, marching with you. There is a fire that is burning in your chest, a fire that connects to all the others around you, spreads. You can feel it. You look at the city in front of you, around you, and you can feel this fire, this power that comes from your art, from your poetry, from your words, reaching out to all of them. You feel the tide change. You feel momentous change occurring in this world around you. You feel it all happening. It's at your fingertips. You make a little move like a conductor, an orchestra. The slightest move, and the entire mood changes. The entire orchestra moves as one, 30, 40, 50. It doesn't matter how many. They move as one with the single slightest move of your stick.
Mm.
And as you feel this power reach at the heart of you, lay bare your deepest dreams and desires, that fire that's been burning inside of you. For a moment, you feel something else creeping in it. You feel something else take note. You feel something else see what is being laid bare. Take note and chuckle. You come back to Ellis. The stage is dark. Jinx. Alki's been done for 10 minutes now. He came out saying 3 numbers. Walked off stage. Everyone is still staring at the stage, dumbfounded. Most people are now starting to talk to each other, low voices, about what just happened, what they just experienced. But Ellis was gone. Ellis was gone. Nothing you could do. You tried shaking him, anything. Ellis was not responding. He now starts to move. You yourself...
Sir? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, you yourself were quite moved, but you managed to resist it. It wasn't quite your song.
Okay. I think I'm just kind of, I am attached to Ellis. I'm saying, sir, are you okay?
Yeah. No.
What the hell was that?
You didn't see it. You didn't see
The
it.
Elkie?
No, it's gonna happen. It's all gonna happen.
What's gonna happen?
The Renaissance, baby. It's coming.
And Ellis,
it's coming. It's cultural revolution. Artists, poets, rewriting the narrative. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
People standing up for themselves, declaring their stories their own through music, through painting, through sculpture, and I'm gonna be the one to make it happen. I'm gonna be the king of Harlem, baby. And I grab her and I pull her close and I just kiss her right there, long and hard.
And as you're doing that, as you're kissing her long and hard, your tongue in her mouth, hers and yours, you hear a little voice in your head that says, "You can be the king of Harlem. It can be you. We should talk."
I pull back from the kiss and I look around to see if I can find the voice in my head. I look to the stage.
When you look to the stage, you see Jinx. She is stripped naked. She is tied to a very medieval-looking device, one meant to inflict the harshest tortures on whoever would sit in it, but she is smiling more blissfully than you have ever seen her smile. She is quite literally quivering and shaking in pleasure as this machine is being applied to her. And as that image fades, you see kind of like an after image of light, the number 12.
12. I say 12 under my breath. 12.
12?
12. 12.
What? 12 what?
12. What? Huh?
What are you... What's going on?
Oh, nothing, baby. I think I need to talk with Miss Becca.
Okay.
Can you? I'm sorry, baby. I love you. I'll be right back. I give her
Okay, be
a
careful.
kiss, but a lot less passionate than my last kiss. I don't really seem to be like, you know my kiss, you know my touch, you know my passion, and I kiss you and I say the things, but it's like I'm not all there.
Distracted.
I'm very distracted, more distracted than you've seen me in a while.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And as he slips away, you find yourself alone in the cabaret. Not alone physically, because there are other people. For the first time since you met Ellen, you feel alone. And as you feel that loneliness for the very first time, and it's fleeting, he's gone before and he's always come back, as you say. A hand touches your arm. As you turn to look at who touching you. Outside.
Yes.
You are walking a lane. You and Elaine are walking, Miguel, on the top deck, breathing in the night air. You feel much better, Elaine, as you're up here. The momentary shock of seeing what you saw earlier is floating off on the wind. Your head's a little clearer, and clear that it was just the stress and knowing why you're going to New York and what all of it entailed that was playing with you. The night's quiet. You both maybe think a little bit about what it is that went overboard. You're not sure. There were shadows moving, but it doesn't seem to be too important. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
She would probably just want to walk in silence for a little bit. Like along the outside, right? So kind of just like, especially because it is now like nighttime, right? So when you go outside, it's black. There's nothing all around you. It looks like you are the only thing that exists right now, right? It's just a void everywhere. And I feel like she would just want to kind of, walk along the railing and just look at that for a little bit and kind of, it reflects her right now, right? She feels like there's nothing else really out there that like matters right now anymore.
Miguel would. You'd be hearing a tune. You'd be humming it. So you'd keep the quietness out of respect. But then you would hear an old tune that he hums underneath his breath to the night sky. And he keeps respect to you, so he doesn't break the silence per se, but it's more of just a soft hum in the background, just to, as is more of a gentle reminder that you're not alone. And you kind of, since he's Lasombra, he kind of disappears into the blackness. And he still gives you your space, but he keeps an eye out for any signs of anything that is out of place, because there's no need to sense for trouble, but he is looking to see if there's anything out of place due to the fact that you mentioned that you saw her. So he's making sure that there's nothing around that there should be of worry.
Do you walk away or do you stay with Miguel?
Oh no,
Oh, well, one or the other. Get close.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like in all her wallowing, she wouldn't want to, like, actually be alone right now.
You just hear, and that's kind of all you hear.
Not quite. Your footsteps coming towards you. Hurriedly. Footsteps. As someone walking very rapidly. Not running, but walking very rapidly in. Around the corner comes this man. You've seen him before. He is a member of your clan. Sir Toby Percival. Member of Clan Ventru. He turns the corner and he seems to be in a bit of a fright. His eyes are wide and he's got a bit of a sheen on his forehead, and he looks around and he sees you. And he goes, "Yes, you'll do." And he comes over to you. And as he approaches, and you can tell me if you want to do something about this, but he's approaching you, and you can see that he's got something in his hand, like a piece of paper or something, a card maybe. And he's approaching you, and he reaches out like he's going to take your hand and try to put it in. So I want to give you guys an opportunity to do something if you want. Up to you. Or you can just let it happen. Let me know what you want to do.
You said it looked like a paper, like
yeah,
a
like a
letter,
card, like a business card maybe, or a piece of letter or something very small. Like the size of a business card or something.
Yeah, so she'd be very, like, startled, but because she can see what's in his hand, I don't think she would stop him from handing it to her.
Miguel?
I'm a couple steps back, I would say. Miguel knows that she is capable of handling herself, so he's not going to intervene unless it's really startled. Like, he can see that she's really startled about it and he needs to interject. I think he's just going to sit back and wait.
So Sir Toby Percival walks up to you, Elaine, and goes, "My dear, for the sake of our clan, your blood that runs in your body and mine, please keep this safe." And he hands you this card. And he folds your hands over it. He says, "No matter what happens, keep this safe with you." And then he walks off. As he walks off, you hear more footsteps. Much more hurried, running. Around the corner, you see the sheriff, Rufus Purcell, the Bruja. And coming around the corner, he looks, sees you, scans you up and down, looks ahead, sees Percival. Percival looks over his shoulder, sees him. In a moment, Purcell dashes forward, obviously using celerity, a kindred discipline. He covers the distance between him and Purcell in a matter of the blink of an eye. At any point in time, if you guys want to do something, interrupt me. Otherwise, you can let it unfold. That's fine. The sheriff reaches out to Purcell, not to Purcell, but to Percival, grabs him around the throat, and as they start to struggle, you get the unmistakable stench, or not stench rather, but the very sweet, sweet smell of kindred blood, as you see a huge gout of it shoot from Percival and paint the side of the wide side of the cabin of the ship with this long streak of dark red blood. And as the two of them struggle, the sheriff lowers Percival to the ground. You can see that he has pushed a stake through Sir Percival. The stake goes right through his heart, but Percival is still struggling. He shouldn't be struggling. He's been staked. He should be paralyzed. You don't understand what's going on, but they keep struggling. He keeps trying to push it into him, and the two of them get on the ground and rolling. Purcell is a Bruja. He's very strong. He's got points. He starts barreling down on Percival, smashing his head into the floor of the boat.
Elaine would have probably yelled out when she saw like the blood, and then realized that it was like the sheriff attacking him. And she would have just probably like not intervened physically, but like yelled out, just like sheriff, what's going on? What are you doing?
And as you say that, he stops falling for a second, turns to you. His face is bestial. He's got red eyes. His fangs are out. His features are distorted. And he yells at you, leave! And he uses one of his powers of presence. You can just turn and leave if you want. If not, we're going to make a roll to see if it forces you to.
Well, we're making a roll, baby.
We're making a roll. All right.
What am I
your
rolling?
Courage plus your self-control. Your target is going to be 7.
Three successes.
All right. With 3 successes, you feel the dread of his discipline of presence, the dread presence, fill you with fear. You know this guy's the right to kill you. You know he can do it with just like that. He is so powerful, so much older than you. Dread completely fills you. You can spend a willpower to resist it. Otherwise, you're going to turn and run.
We, as a lovely Raven Sarah Knight on chat just reminded us, we have night moves as well, so I would like to use one.
You can't use a night move for this. You have to use a willpower. You literally have to roll a willpower, willpower to stay there.
Yeah,
the night move will allow you to avoid a botch or get another success, but a success is not going to help you at this point. So the willpower will... You blow a willpower?
Yes, sir.
This fearsome visage fills you with fright, and you feel that, that flight reflex kick in, but just before you turn to take a step, you stop. Hold your ground. He stares at you a moment longer, then turns around. Gives Percival one last whack for good measure. The man's head is pulp. There's just this huge blood stain that is pooling. How many blood points did you have? You had 7, North, right?
C.
Elaine, how many did you have?
Yeah, I'm at 4.
Give me a self-control roll as the smell of kindred blood fills your nose and calls to you like nothing else does.
1 success.
Miguel, you see Elaine slowly crouching down, her hand reaching for the blood that's pooling now at her feet, looking like she's about to run her fingers through it.
Señorita. He's going to step in front of her to kind of block her visual from the pool of blood. And I'm assuming she's looking down. He's going to gently raise her cheek or her underneath her chin to make her focus on him.
The blood, there's so much of it.
Yeah.
So much blood.
It would taste so sweet. Kindred blood is so good. You hear his voice whispering in you. It would fill you like nothing else. It would be such a delight to fill your, but to have it on your lips, to feel it running down.
Señorita.
Do you not smell it?
Oh, yes, I do. I smell it. It smells sweet.
She turns to the scene again. Is the sheriff still there over the body?
The sheriff is picking up the body, throwing it over his shoulder. Blood is just dripping from the smashed head onto the ground.
Like as much as she is entranced by the blood itself, she can see where it came from, right? Because she can see the body, she remembers what just happened, and she's gonna go ahead and call out to the sheriff again and just, why? What? Why?
When he turns to you, his face is back to normal. He pushes his glasses up. His face. Official camera business. Unless you want to be involved, I suggest you return to your cabins.
And such violence was really necessary.
He's just staring at you.
Miguel was going to tug on her arm. I think it's our cue to go, señorita.
You can take it up with the Keeper of Elysium.
I think I just might. And she turns and walks with Miguel.
Keep her in the light, Shadow Boy.
He's going to turn half cocked. I tend to.
Y'all have a good evening. He turns around with the body and walks off. As you are walking towards Elaine, you look down in your hand. The card he gave you has only one thing written on it, in the hand, in a scratchy handwriting. The number 12. And on that note, we're going to take a break, my friends. Hello, everybody. We are back on track with Sonnet. And the boat's called Petrach. So I don't know, maybe there's some connections going on. I hope everybody's doing fine. Hope everybody had a good break. We went around and walked around the block, and now we feel a lot better for it. And by walk around the block, I mean drank a fifth of gin. Okay, just before we left on our break, hold on, I'm going to cough. Just before we left on our break, a bunch of things that happened. Jinx and Ellis had witnessed a spectacle by a daughter of Cacophony. Ellis had been quite taken by Alki-Becca, the daughter of Cacophony, and after seeing a strange vision of his partner Jinx in a medieval torture device and enjoying every minute of it, has gone backstage to see Elki and takes with him a last image, a last flash he saw of the number 12. At that moment, Jinx had felt a hand touch her arm, and we never went back to that, so we're going to see what that's all about. It's the Zimshies.
Who's touching me?
It's just a hand. It's Evil Dead.
Ah! It's Bing.
Meanwhile, Elaine and Miguel had been taking a walk out on the deck of the boat when they suddenly saw Sir Toby Percy come in and first give Elaine a card with the number 12 on it, saying that she should keep that very preciously, calling on the blood of their clan, their shared clan, Ventru. And only to be apprehended and pummeled, probably to final death, it's not clear, but pummeled to hell and back by the sheriff. Rufus Purcell, Clan Brua, who tried to make Elaine run away in fear, but Elaine stood her ground, fortified no doubt by the champagne.
Yes.
As we return to the scene, Jinx, you turn to see the doctor, Dr. Bowman, who you will recall is not a kindred but a ghoul. He is a ghoul whose domitor is a well-known and well-respected Toreador kindred in New York. He himself is being given the right to, hang out because of his sire's status. He reaches out to you and goes, "My dear, are you well?"
Oh, certainly, Doctor. And how are you?
I'm quite verklempt, I guess. I was quite moved by the performance that we just saw. Miss Becker was quite the performer, but I couldn't help but notice that you seemed a little alarmed, perhaps, or...
I was a bit surprised by the effect that she had on the crowd, but no, she is a very extraordinary performer. No doubt about it.
Indeed, I was quite moved. I've never myself had the opportunity to listen to a Daughter of Cacophony, though I'm told that my sire once hosted a party where 3 of them sang, and it was quite legendary back in New Orleans in the days before I was even born. That must have been
Sounds like a hell of a party.
Yeah, absolutely. It appears your escort has left you alone. I was wondering if you would perhaps like for me to accompany you back to your cabin, or if you would like to sit and have another libation, perhaps. It seems that the band will be continuing playing for some time.
I could have one more drink. Care to join me?
No, absolutely. It would be my honor to do so. Please, allow me to get the drinks. What would you like?
I'll take a Scotch neat, please.
Oh. Woman after my own heart. I'll be right back. Perhaps we can take that table over there.
Oh, certainly. I'll grab it for us.
As you go back to the table, he goes off to the bar, gets a couple drinks. As you go back to the table, you sit down and you realize it's the table that you and Ellis and Geraldine were at before. And you see that where Geraldine was sitting, she's left behind a napkin that's got a couple of wet rings on it. Scrawled in the corner is the number 12. Whiskey, and he puts the glass in front of you. I'm having the same. There's nothing quite like a little Highland drink to put a little lead in your pencil, as my daddy used to say.
I'll bet he did. Chin chin.
Cheers. Am I correct in assuming that the man who just left you is your husband, perhaps? I'm simply mentioning it in order to underline the fact that, of course, I am not making any advances towards you. I simply saw a woman alone, and I wanted to make sure that you were okay, and I want to make sure that you don't feel that there is anything inappropriate in my approach.
I almost wish there was.
No, well, seems a little bit flustered by that, huh? You're being funny. Yes, very, very good one. Very good. Cheers, and yeah.
Am I? Cheers.
I don't know. Are you?
Who can say, really? So what brings you on this voyage, Doctor?
Oh, I just recently spent several months at the Medical University of Edinburgh. They have fascinating new procedures there that are miles and miles ahead of what we're currently doing in New York. I work at the Knickerbocker Hospital, which, as you may know, is a hospital that is renowned for its progressive and, well, shall we say, adventurous medical techniques. But still, I learned many fascinating things in Edinburgh. Many of them having to do, of course, with surgery.
You don't say.
Yes, blades, scalpels, pins, needles, all those things.
Sounds terribly exciting.
Oh, it's quite exciting. The things they're doing now. Simply take the hernia, for example. The hernia, which has been a dreadful killer for so many years. They have found a very simple method of operating on it that does not put the patient at risk at all. It's a few simple incisions. One does not even need to dig that deep, and voila, it is a miracle of modern medical technology.
Is it painful?
Quite painful, yes, indeed, it is.
Interesting.
Do you have an interest in pain? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, categorically, I do, yes.
Oh, as a scholar, as a student?
Less of a scholar, more of a guinea pig, if you will.
He's very flustered now. He's turning a little red and he's starting to sweat. Very interesting. Are you aware of the medical advances in anesthetics?
Not particularly, but I'd love to hear about it. Anesthetics, you say? What is that?
It is the medicines that we use to help patients withstand pain.
Oh.
What exactly is your interest in pain? If you don't mind me asking.
Recreational.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that.
I'm sorry, Doctor. Have I said? Oh. Well, I didn't mean to shock you or anything, Doctor. I just your line of work fascinates me.
He looks at you for a moment, and then leans in conspiratorially and says, "Would you perhaps be interested in seeing my collection of knives and needles?"
Very much so, yes.
Would your husband mind terribly?
I could ask him.
Why don't you do that?
Certainly.
What do you do?
I think I sorry. I think I write down my cabin number and I say I'll be in touch.
When you write down your cabin number, you're struck with a bit of a thought. You write it down kind of just offhand in the corner of a napkin, and you realize how much your 27 is similar to the 12 that was written on the corner of the... It makes you think that maybe that's what that number is all about.
Doctor, before
Yes,
I
Miss.
go,
I'm sorry, I didn't even ask your name. What is your name?
Oh, Jinx de Paula.
Lovely name.
Thank you.
I am Dr. Bowman, but you can call me Angus.
Angus. Do you happen to know who's in cabin number 12?
The cabin number 12. No, I don't think I know. I'm not very, I don't keep up to date on where everybody's staying. I usually mind my own business. I find it safer in the presence of you and yours, even for someone who is protected from on high by the Prince of Darkness himself. As they say, I sometimes feel a bit more like lunch than guest.
I agree. You can't be too careful.
Indeed. Never know when you'll run into someone with a bunch of knives and needles.
We can only hope. I'll be in touch.
Splendid. He finishes his whiskey. Where are you going?
I'm going
to see if I can find Ellis. Because
Stepping
I
behind
found someone with a bunch of knives and needles.
So easy, please. Outside, Miguel and Elaine, the sheriff has disappeared with the bleeding body of Sir Percival. You are left together alone. I've walked away from the blood, I assume, to make sure that Elaine is not tempted further, but you do realize that you're feeling a little peckish. You are kind of low, and it might not be a bad idea to get a bite at some point. You are holding that card in your hand with the number 12 on it. What are the two of you doing?
I would have walked as far as maybe like right outside the entrance back to the cabaret was, but wouldn't have gone inside. And so still outside, I would have probably, oh man, do I? Yeah, I would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would. Miguel, what do you make of all of this?
Just another day in New York.
So you saw, right, that he handed me something.
Mm-hmm.
He said to keep it a secret, but I don't know, I've come to trust you, honestly, probably more than any other person on this ship. And here. And she shows it to Miguel.
What can I simulate just by looking at the numbers?
The number 12 on the cardboard. Like, give me an investigation plus wits, perhaps?
Sure. Well, that's shit. Oh, yeah, that's also shit. I got a 10.
Shit's not a number.
Well, it's 1, a 3, and a 10. Sorry.
Well, the 1 cancels out the 10. So you look at it and you go 6 plus 6.
It's a number.
That is for sure a number.
Well,
You do have
I
9
know
ones.
that. I know that. I don't know what to make of it. He handed me this and then died. Well, he handed me this and got murdered.
That is, señorita, what we call in the business justice.
I want to believe that the sheriff was doing his job and keeping us safe, but it was one of mine, and I don't know. I want to know why.
Okay.
And I want to know what this is and why it was so important for him to hand it off before he seemed to know that he would die.
Or would
Otherwise, why come and,
The only place we can get answers is going straight to the source itself. And we know that he isn't going to say anything.
I know. But he did mention Lady Vespa. She is a Ventrue as well. The Keeper of Elysium. She would know if, obviously she has to know if anything goes on, and Well, this is certainly something. Maybe... I don't think I would ask her about the number, though. He did seem to want to keep that from the sheriff as well. But...
Let us play this out. You go to this lady. The lady, she asks you why you're there. What will you say?
Well, because we witnessed the sheriff murder one of our clan, and I want to know why.
But who are you for the Elysium to give answers to? This is not a ding against you, my lady.
I know. It's just frustrating.
No, I agree. I think we should start with the source and go down. There's got to be someone else that knows what is going on. Will this bring you closure? But
What do
why
you mean?
pursue this?
A man who just died has left me with something. It doesn't feel right to ignore it. He knew he was going to die. There was a purpose. He wanted something. And I can't ask him because he's dead.
You are determined to find an answer.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep, at least tonight, if I don't try.
Okay.
Are you not even a little bit curious?
I have been down these rabbit holes before, milady. It is currently the one that I am on my journey and why I'm on this boat in the first place. And it's only brought me dread.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to open old wounds.
It's okay. I deal with my own demons every day. But you are determined. You're strong. And if this brings you closure, or if this will help you sleep tonight, then I will be by your side. Let us go to Elysium and let us find out what is the answers you seek.
Thank you.
So you're going to go and try and find the Keeper of Elysium, am I understanding correctly?
Or someone that's close to them that we can at least find some type of answers. Or if, I'm assuming, not the sheriff, but someone who reports to the sheriff.
Okay, well, I would say that there's probably an office, like an official office that Keeper Elysium has that people aboard the ship have access to if they need to. And while there's no guarantee that she'd be there at this particular moment, it would probably be like the logical place to start looking. If there's some official business going on, it's likely that that's where it would be going on and all that. So,
and Miguel will say, might want to take off the hat for this one.
Yeah, so she will. Yeah, so she'd go to the office to see if Lady Vesper is there.
okay.
And, even if she doesn't give them answers, she feels like it's worth a shot.
Okay. Meanwhile, backstage, Ellis, you come storming through the curtain room.
I wouldn't say storming, but with purpose, for sure.
You come through the curtain. You see the backstage. The immediate backstage area is most like a tech area. There's like cases for the instruments and, spare lamps and things of that nature. And then there's like a short corridor with a red carpet, and you go down it and you can hear people talking on the corridor and that. As you pass one open door, kind of heading for at the end of the corridor, there seems to be like a room with a lot of light coming from it and people talking. As you're passing another door that's open, you hear, Ellis, was it? And you recognize the voice of Byron Gate.
Byron, yes. Hi. Wondering if I could speak to Miss Becker.
Oh yeah, she'll be out presently. Would you like to have a seat with me here for a moment, then, and enjoy a perhaps a glass of whiskey before she comes out? She'll be out very shortly.
Oh, yeah, that'd be lovely. Red wine would be my drink of choice, but yeah, that'd be lovely.
Oh, I'm sure we can get you sorted. You walk into the room. There's a nice big plush carpet. There's a couple of club chairs. There's a little a bar there in the corner. There's a record player that's playing some classical music. He gets up and goes to the little bar and finds some wine for you. And please have a seat.
Thank you. That Vivaldi you playing there?
Oh, you have a good ear.
Thank you. I just finished a stint at the Sorbonne and studying music, amongst other things. Not really. A little bit, but not much. I find that, music is a universal language.
Yes, absolument, as the French would say.
Yes.
What did you think of Ms. Becker? It's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah. Unlike anything I've ever seen before, or heard before, as it were. Is she going to be in soon?
Yes, she'll be here presently. Like you, I'm of the Toreador blood, and it was very difficult for me to learn to not be completely brain-addled every time she sang, and to lose myself completely. And after much scientific research and a lot of trials and testing and tribulations, I've come up with a method that is not infallible, but pretty good for resisting the lure of the voice of a daughter of cacophony. Would you like me to share?
Why would you want to resist it?
Oh, because I have a job to do. I'm an impresario and a manager, and I'm usually very busy while she's singing. I can't be standing next to the stage drooling like an idiot.
But you see the truth in the art and the beauty. Like, why would you not want to?
Because
see it, to experience it.
My art is the art of the impresario, the art of the manager. I take pleasure in the fine art of handling a musician's career, the contract negotiations, the social networking, the promotion of it, the making contacts, making friends, bringing all of this together, organizing a 17-city tour throughout Europe is quite a feat in its own. It's its own form of beauty. I like to sit back and I will take a map and I will put pins in red pieces of red string connecting them, and I always find the most exquisite and intricate patterns in the various travels that we do in the various cities that we visit, and that is where my art lies.
Say that's okay. That's interesting. Would you say that could be used to figure out how do you say influence a movement? Say.
Very interesting that you would bring that up. Top you off.
Yeah, I love it. I'm sorry. I do need to get going soon. My lady is out there, and I don't like to be without her for too long.
Perhaps you'll give me a few moments before you do go in search of your very, very exquisite lady, and entertain me a little bit with talks of Harlem.
The hearing the word Harlem kind of, I think, shakes him out of that like head in the clouds thing a little bit. What do you want to know?
Well, I feel like you are someone with plans, with a vision, an architect of sort, trying to build something.
Yeah, you could say that. Before I was embraced,
Mm-hmm.
I was angry. I was lost. I grew up at a time where my freedom was not my own, and while I very much enjoy this new life, I abhor what was done to me and mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I firmly believe that through art and through expression, we can raise our station. We can find our freedom.
Absolutely.
If we control our own narratives, through song, through poetry, through sculpture, through artistic expression, we can show people that we are not 3/5 of a person, that we are whole, beautiful beings. I believe that we deserve to be seen, to be heard, and I believe that I deserve to perhaps profit from it a bit. I help my people, and I live a charmed life because of it. So, spent some time overseas, educating myself, studied at Oxford, studied at the Sorbonne, learned about music, literature, poetry, business and finance. And we're going to figure out how to use that and monetize it. I firmly believe that we can be the tastemakers. I have a vision one day, everybody wanted to have a piece of Black culture, you know what I mean?
I do. And I also know that nobody works for free.
Nobody works for free.
You have a very fine message. And I believe very strongly that it is a message that needs to be disseminated far and wide. I believe it is a message that can have the impact you want it to have. I think all you need is someone to help you get that message out there.
That's what I got Jinxie for. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her.
What if I told you that I work for someone who is very interested in the message that you carry? Someone who has a very, very long arm and can reach places that even me in my best days did not hope to reach. And what if I tell you that this person is very interested in helping you? What would you say?
I guess I'd ask who that person might be.
And he smiles, and as he says that, the door opens, and Miss Elke Becker walks in. Regal, beautiful, dressed again as a man, but vision of beauty.
I'd stand up, take off my hat, ma'am.
Ellis, is it? I'm not going to do the
It
German
is.
accent, but she would have a very thick German accent. Such a pleasure to finally meet you.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. I was moved by your performance.
Of course you were, darling. Now, would you like another drink while we talk?
I would. I do need to get back to my partner soon, however. But I would love another drink. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. We won't make Jinx wait. And they pour you another bit of wine. Jinx, you walk into the backstage. You see a little prep area. You see boxes. You see instrument cases. You see extra lamps, things of that nature. There's a corridor that leads down further away with a long red carpet. You can see a door at the other end where a lot of light is coming from and a number of voices.
Okay. I think I sort of listen and try and see if he's busy, because I don't want to disturb if he's actually like talking
You
to
don't
somebody.
hear his voice. You hear just a couple of people speaking in hushed voices, hushed tones.
Is it behind a closed door that I hear these voices?
No, it's coming from, there's a door that's ajar at the end of the hallway. There's light spilling out of it and you hear the voices.
I'm sort of going to casually wander toward that end of the hall and try to listen.
The closer you get, the louder the whispers become, but you still can't make them out. They're just always intriguingly just out of earshot.
Damn it. Can I try to duck behind a corner right outside the door and just listen?
Yeah, you can saddle up. There's not a lot of room
seen.
to actually kind of hide, but you can totally kind of stealthily move up ahead. Do you want to roll a stealth? Give me a dexterity and stealth roll.
Sure. Let's see what that is.
Remember, you have 9 moves also.
My dex. I have what?
You have
9
9
moves. That's
moves.
right. Yes.
Working
I'm gonna
on
roll,
9
and then if it
moves.
doesn't go well,
Only thing that goes through my head every time you say it.
Sorry, you said dex plus stealth?
Stealth, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, that's okay. Not too terrible. And what's my
6s
What am I
is fine.
aiming
Yeah,
for?
6s is good.
okay, that is 4 successes.
Okay, excellent. You approach up to the door, you saddle up to it, you lend an ear, and the whispers become more audible to you. You can come in. No, you're there. We're waiting. Come in, Jinx. Road. We're waiting.
She loves a bad idea. She loves a bad idea.
Respect.
She's got to know. She's got to know. She can't. It's too intriguing.
Maui's like, no, don't
Yeah.
do it. Ellis would be like, yeah.
Oh no, yeah. She's like, I think she'll like kind of knock on the door frame.
When you knock, the voices stop.
Hello?
Come in, Jinx.
Who's there?
Come in, see. We have
Okay.
so many wonderful things to do.
Oh, God.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm on my guard, but I go in.
You walk into the room. There are these very rich red curtains with golden embroidery kind of along the walls around it. There are a number of candles that are burning. At the center of the room is this contraption. It looks like a wooden cross made of shiny black wood, but it is kind of inclined a little bit, and it's not super long, but it's just kind of inclined a little bit, and it's supported on either side by these golden rods. There are straps where the hands and where the throat and where the feet would be. You see on the table, which is covered with this beautiful purple velvet cloth, a number of implements, some more esoteric than others. All of them very intriguing. And as you walk in, you see sitting in a little chair with a little footstool at her feet is your sire. Well, Jing, it's been some time. Why don't you come over here and sit?
I can't believe you're here. I never thought I'd see you again.
Aren't you glad?
Yes, but where have you been?
Always nearby. Sweet girl. Always nearby. Now, sit.
Yes, ma'am.
Good girl. Meanwhile, as you are climbing upstairs.
I'm not happy with that at all.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
I call her good girl. Not cool. Sorry.
Miguel and Elaine, you come around eventually. You climb up to the next level and eventually find yourselves arriving at the Keeper of Elysium's office. When you get on the top level, you see footsteps and the drips of blood that you presume came from the sheriff carrying the body of Percival. And they go straight to the office and they go in. What do you do?
I was hoping you wouldn't be here. Are you going to come in? Are you going to wait outside?
Miguel is just going to knock on the door. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. It's happening. Yes, all right.
You knock on the door, and the door swings open, revealing a darkened office.
It's open. I guess we let ourselves in.
Wait.
You said it's dark inside?
Yeah, it's dark. I mean, there's moonlight that's coming in through the windows on the side. And now, by the way, there's probably about 2 hours left before sunrise.
Okay. Well, he came in here, clearly. There's footsteps. But there doesn't seem to be anybody inside. Can we, hear anything, any noise coming from the inside at all?
Do a perception and alertness.
Can I roll one as well?
Gladly.
Yes, please.
Three successes.
That's 4 successes.
You hear the whirling of a ceiling fan. Boom, 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 boom of a ceiling fan. You smell blood. Not overwhelming, but some blood. And interestingly, ashes.
Where are the ashes?
You don't see anything in the front office. There is a door that leads to a secondary office in the back. It is also ajar.
Being a Lasombra, can I see in?
No, you can see in your own darkness, but unless you have heightened senses, if you have aspects and heightened senses.
That's a great question. Check. I do not.
Damn it. What do you...
I'm going to take the lead here. Miguel will definitely put Ellie behind me. And just stay behind me, señorita. You don't know what's in there.
Okay.
I'm going to almost tactically, as if I was law enforcement, going to what we call slice the pie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to do that. So do you want me to roll another perception?
No, it's cool.
Okay.
You cut around the corner, slicing the pie. Just say you cut around the corner, edging carefully. Looking into the room, you see a few things. One, there are a couple piles of ashes on the floor. There's a bit of wind that's coming in from an open window, and they're starting to stir and kind of be spread throughout the room. I would say that there's the equivalent of about 2 vampires' bodies worth of ashes.
Is there a weapon?
Yeah, you can see that there would be clothes also, right? So one of the sets of clothes is definitely that of what the sheriff was wearing.
Ooh.
And the other one is a nice evening gown, kind of formal.
Who?
Oh, no. Well,
Chat, help. Help.
oh,
You
no.
walk in a little deeper and you notice something else. There is an air vent at the top of in the corner of the far wall. It is hanging on just one screw, so the vent itself is kind of like swinging back and forth like this. Up along the wall, there is a trail of what looks like soot or something blackish mixed with oil or something as it goes all the way up into the vent or down from the vent. At the foot of the wall near where the vent is, there is another set of clothes, and it is that of Sir Percival.
Oh. Señorita, we need to get out of here before the wrong eyes get us.
Okay, wait, but there's only 2 sets of ashes and 3 sets of clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, she's never been like, she's a cloistered little library baby, and she's just like freaking the fuck out, very silently, very like put together, freaking the fuck out internally.
Mm-hmm. You can do an intelligence and
so
investigation roll, both of you, if you want, by the way.
Perfect.
Yes.
Damn it. I got 1 success and it was a crit.
This is what I was made for. 7 successes.
The other set of clothes, the evening gown, is clearly what the Keeper of Elysium was wearing earlier.
Oof.
Yeah. And can I, the third set of clothes is by the vent,
Yeah.
right?
And the
So I can
disgusting
deduce
kind of
that.
like sooty, oily stuff comes from inside the suit.
Right. So we can safely assume that it was the sheriff and the Keeper of Elysium whose ashes now are on the floor.
You would think.
Right. Would I have any idea as to where the vent might come out through, or like where it would
It
lead
could go
essentially?
anywhere on the ship.
Yeah.
And as you
Is there
investigate the clothes a little closer, foot of the vent, you see stuck in that sooty, oily stuff, and in some of the clothes, you see a number of tiny black.
Oh.
Would there be anybody that she would know, like, works with them? Right, because the sheriff and the Keeper of Elysium wouldn't have, like been on their own completely. Right, like, is there anybody else who would have had close contact with them to any degree?
They certainly have a number of ghoulish assistants.
As far as hierarchy, that's where the buck stops. So
Yeah.
there shouldn't be anyone else with the exception of the people who reported to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I figured like anybody like under that would still be alive that we could probably talk to.
I don't think it's time for talking, señorita. I think it's time for us to get out of here before the wrong set of eyes get the wrong ideas.
Yes, let's leave.
As you turn and head back out through the front office with your excellent investigation roll, Elaine, you notice something on the wall, a map of the ship. You notice all the cabins. You notice the numbers. And it comes to you, the number 12. Could possibly be cabin number 12. There's a registrar on the desk also.
Oh, that's important. Grab that.
Yeah, like I don't think she would stop and leaf through it right there. She would probably grab it and take it with her, just trying to get out of here.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
You head out into the night. Back inside, Ellis. Ms. Becker has been talking with you for some time. You've started to lose track of time. You're having fun. You're having a blast. You're having a great time of your life. She is so charming, so charismatic. Her voice is enveloping. It is smooth. Everything she's saying is so witty and sharp and so interesting and so beautiful. And it's literally like I said earlier, like just standing there staring at a work of art. You shake your head, you blink, you realize you're sitting alone in a room on a little wooden chair. There's another chair next to you, an empty bottle of wine on the floor.
You're muted.
There's no one in the room with me?
No.
What? Am I in the same room that I was in when I was talking to her?
Yeah, you are. The lights are dim. There's no sound coming from the other side. You see a clock on the wall. It indicates that there's maybe 15 minutes before sunrise. You've been out for about 2 hours.
Is the door open?
Yep, it's open on a corridor. The corridor's dark.
I need to know where Jinx is.
As you think that, you hear a sound that sounds like her voice coming from down the hall.
Jinxie.
As you call out, stand up, perhaps walk towards the hallway, you remember one thing that Alki Becker repeated a few times. Number 12.
12. I said 12 earlier. I'm gonna keep going toward the sound of my love's voice.
In the room, Jinx, your sire has stood up and is facing around you. You feel a fingernail scratching across your shoulders from behind. Tell me, does he treat you well?
Very.
Are you satisfied? Does he truly understand you, understand the depths of your depravity, the depths of your need for pain?
I think so.
Does he make your satisfaction his only concern?
Well, I could hardly expect him to not have other interests.
You start hearing his voice. You hear Ellis talk about his dream for Harlem. You hear him talk about his dream for the people, for what art can do. You hear the fire in his voice. You hear the conviction. You hear the strength. You hear the determination. You hear the deep, deep, deep love he has for this cause. Coming from another room, she puts a hand on the back of your neck and says, "Does he ever talk about you this way?"
Well, not exactly, but he makes sure I know how much he loves me every day.
Charming. Can I show you something?
Okay.
She reaches down and grabs you just under the jaw. She doesn't squeeze your throat or anything, just two finger in the thumb, just under the jaw. And there's this iron-like strength there. She lifts you up until you're on your tippy toes. And she starts guiding you very slowly towards the cross. You're barely able to keep on your toes as she's moving you. She guides you down, lies you down on it. As you lie down on it, you realize that the surface of the cross is not as smooth as you thought. There are all these little pins and needles and blades that line the wood and the grain. And as you lay down on it, all of these beautifully break just your skin just enough. In a moment, she has you strapped down to this thing. She stands next to you, and she says, "If you ever want to know the true meaning of pain. And if you ever want someone who will speak of you and your desires and your needs, the way he speaks of his dreams, come find me. And she brings her finger down on your chest and starts carving in your chest, and the pain blossoms immediately throughout your entire body into this warm ball of pleasure and pain that just rip-roars and ricochets through your body. It makes your toes curl. It makes your mouth dry. It makes you feel like your skin is 2 sizes too small as you struggle against the bonds and feel every inch of your body come alive. You let out a low moan. Ellis, you hear the sound of her moaning, and she moans in a way that you haven't heard since the very beginning of your relationship with her, and you run down the hall. You open the door. You see Jinx on her knees in an empty room, naked, her hands holding on to her ankles behind her, bent over in an almost impossible manner, almost a perfect semicircle. And you see, etched in her belly, the number 12.
Jinx.
Sir?
Jinx.
Sir?
Who did this? Who did you
Her.
allow to touch you like this?
I didn't mean to. It was her.
Who?
Her. My sire.
Upstairs, Miguel, Elaine, you were coming out of the room. You closed the door behind you. And you hear, in Italian, "Nice night for a walk." And you turn to see Federico Giovanni smoking a cigarette, leaning against the railing, looking at you. And that, my friends, is where we are going to end tonight.
Oh, no, son of a bitch. I wanted to say something. I was going to curse him out in Italiano.
I was gonna say that. Like, that guy pisses me off for like no reason. I just don't. I hate him.
Not cool. Not cool.
Write it down. Save it for next week.
Cool.
Or 2 weeks from now.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Oh my god.